Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today we will discuss the two newest warships of the Philippine Navy, the BRP Miguel Malvar and the BRP Diego Silang. Both ships are equipped with cutting-edge technology such as advanced radar, modern combat management systems, and vertical launch systems, VLS, which are standard for today's warships. But behind this pride lies a harsh reality. Their launchers are still empty, without a single missile. The question is, what is the point of a modern warship if its main weapon is missing? The BRP Miguel Malvar and the BRP Diego Silang are part of the Philippine military's modernization efforts through the Horizon 3 program. They are intended to symbolize the fleet's transformation from outdated World War II-era vessels to the 21st century. The arrival of these ships should mark a strategic turning point, giving the Philippines warships on par with the fleets of major powers in the region. The vertical launch system, VLS, is what makes these ships unique. The VLS allows the ships to carry a variety of missiles, including anti-aircraft, anti-ship, and land attack missiles. This means that, within a single platform, the Navy can customize weapons configurations according to mission requirements. This is the essence of modern naval warfare: flexibility and long-range firepower. However, the lack of a VLS renders this capability merely potential. The ships look sophisticated and imposing, but when it comes to combat capability, they are like swords without blades. This raises a serious question. Is the Philippines truly prepared to face the growing threats in the West Philippine Sea? Why does this happen? The answer lies in the procurement mechanism. Shipbuilding contracts are signed first, while new weapons contracts are planned later. Administratively, this is common in many countries. However, the Philippines faces a more pressing situation because threats on its borders are never-ending. Warships with empty VLS might be acceptable in countries that don't face direct tensions. But in the Philippines, Chinese Coast Guard vessels, maritime militia, and even PLA warships appear daily in the West Philippine Sea. In such a situation, a frigate without missiles is not only a technical weakness, but also a strategic one. Without surface-to-air missiles, ships cannot defend themselves against enemy fighters or missiles. Without anti-ship missiles, they cannot match enemy warships in long-range duels. As a result, the deterrence value, which should be the primary function of modern frigates, is drastically reduced. To understand the magnitude of the risk, imagine a sophisticated fighter jet without missiles. It can fly, maneuver, and even visually intimidate. However, in real combat, it cannot fight. That is precisely the current situation of the BRP Miguel Malvar and BRP Diego Silang. The Philippines actually had a clear plan to equip these ships with MBDA's VL MICA missiles. This missile is considered one of the most effective air defense systems in its class. In fact, approximately 7.6 billion pesos had been allocated specifically for it. But, as usual, bureaucracy, negotiations with foreign suppliers, and budget disbursement delayed its implementation. So why were the ships accepted first? There were practical reasons. The Navy needed to quickly train the crew to operate the modern platforms. Radar, communications, and combat management systems take years to master. By receiving the ships early, the Philippines can begin building experience even though the main weapons are not yet available. Besides technical reasons, there are also political factors. The government needs to demonstrate to the public that defense modernization is truly underway. New warships with modern designs are easily understood visual evidence, even if their weapons are not yet fully equipped. In a domestic context, symbols of progress are sometimes as important as combat capability. However, the reality on the ground cannot be ignored. If an escalation with China escalates into armed conflict, these new frigates will not be able to play their full role. In a duel with enemy ships armed with missiles, this imbalance could be fatal. The Philippines risks losing the battle before the ships even have a chance to demonstrate their potential. However, there are positives that should not be overlooked. With the platforms ready, missile integration will be much faster. The crew has also been trained to operate the latest technology, so when the missiles finally arrive, the ships can immediately achieve full combat readiness without having to start from scratch. Warships with no VLS are both symbols of limitations and ambition. Limitations, because the Philippines is still mired in classic problems: bureaucracy, procurement delays, and a lack of budget. Ambitions, because choosing VLS-capable ships means the Philippines is no longer satisfied with ordinary patrol vessels, but is striving to be on par with regional maritime powers. The big question now is, will the missiles arrive in time? The West Philippine Sea continues to be a hot spot, and every day without missiles is a risk to national security. BRP Miguel Malvar and BRP Diego Silang are like swords waiting to be cut. They are symbols of hope for the future, but also reminders that time is not on our side. This is this channel, always watching and analyzing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest developments in the Philippine defense world.